Porsche's Boxster series has a new top model, the sporty GTS. It's a convertible, but one that's been souped up a bit and given a more aggressive look. It's sure to appeal to athletic drivers, especially on a fine day with plenty of twists and turns ahead. Car tester Reinhold Deisenhofer says the GTS is the sportiest Boxster yet. There's just a bit more oomph, and it sounds fantastic. The GTS series aims for the ultimate driving experience. That means finely tuned steering with a steering wheel clad in micro suede, powerful brakes, a state-of-the-art engine, and the next level of design. It's a car made to appeal to all the senses. Reinhold says all the Boxster GTSs feature the Sport Chrono package, a nice firm suspension, and a sporty exhaust. Pushing this button revs up the sound. You'll certainly make an impression with this. The 243 kilowatt six-cylinder Boxster engine is so resonant, you'll like it loud. The GTS launches from 0 to 100 in 5 seconds or less. With the optional double-clutch transmission, it's just 4.7 seconds. At close to 73,500 euros in Germany, the GTS is about 9,000 euros more than the Boxster S with a double clutch. The engine in the middle distributes the car's weight favorably, so the Boxster handles well. Former race car driver Walter Royal says this car drives like the S, which is close to perfect. You might get a 2-second difference over 20 kilometers on the racetrack, but the GTS packs more of an emotional punch, and there's a bit more power in the upper reaches. Porsche has also refined the design. The sleek lines have remained much the same, but the front end is amped up with a touch more brawn. There's more black and an added helping of signature elements that say Porsche and GTS. A more pronounced rear spoiler and a central twin-tube sports exhaust flanked by twin diffusers. And when you get behind the wheel, you become one with a high-precision machine. The engine is behind the bucket seats, and when you rev it up, your heartbeat will increase to match. But the best fun is with the sound, and you don't even have to drive fast. Let the engine hit 2,000 RPM and take your foot off the gas. The burble in the back perfectly completes the sound. The naturally aspirated engine responds beautifully, and the central engine makes it handle like a high-end sports car. Porsche is right. This Boxster provides the ultimate driving fun. And it's music to your ears too, especially with the top down. In Europe today, 1 in 4 compact SUVs is equipped with a fuel-efficient diesel engine. With the CR-V 1.6 i-DTEC, Honda too has a thrifty model on offer. Its diesel engine was developed with the European market in mind and is built at Honda's UK plant in Swindon. Our car tester Matas Kurat is a bit disappointed with the loose steering, which gives little feedback from the road. He says the traction in the front axle could also be better in this two-wheel drive variant of the CR-V. The new CR-V 1.6 i-DTEC sticks to the original CR-V concept. It offers a balance between the efficiency of a sedan and the utility and safety of an SUV. Matas is happy with the shifting. Short shift travel, smooth transitions, 6 forward gears. He says, this is how it should be. The CR-V offers the utility and styling of an SUV without compromising on fuel economy. Honda says the average consumption is 4.5 liters per 100 kilometers. Our tester says the instrument cluster with the large speedometer in the middle is very readable. There is an Econ button. When you press it, a little green light appears in the right and left of the speedometer when you drive fuel efficiently. The greener the lamp, the more fuel you're saving. A nice gimmick. If the driver follows the instructions of the Econ mode, he ought to be able to travel up to 1,289 kilometers on a tank of fuel. Mattes finds the horde of buttons and levers on the steering wheel a bit distracting. On the left are 3 buttons, and this dial that also has 4 buttons. The same on the right makes 14. Another 6 below, for a total of 20 buttons on the steering wheel. Honda's aim of offering a driving experience that's both agile and relaxed means that the driver's surroundings are roomy, comfortable, and ergonomic. The easy fold-down 60/40 split rear seat makes it possible to transform the CR-V from a 5-seater passenger car into a versatile transport vehicle with the flick of a wrist. Honda has always sought ways to reduce the space taken by a car's mechanics and thereby provide more space for driver and passengers. So the 4th generation CR-V has smaller external dimensions without losing any interior space. For example, the windshield has moved forward 60 millimeters. This reduces the size of the engine bay, but provides a clearer view and makes maneuvering easier. The 1.6 i-DTEC turbo diesel engine has a maximum torque of 300 Newton-meters and propels the compact SUV from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 11.2 seconds. Mattes says overall the Honda CR-V is not a bad vehicle, but given the poor traction in the front axle, he'd advise potential buyers to go with the all-wheel drive. Aside from offering improved traction, it makes the SUV better suited for off-road action and helps it live up to what its exterior promises. Skoda has released the Octavia Scout, and it's a true all-rounder among station wagons. Along with a new design, it also debuts a 135-kilowatt diesel engine. Combined with an all-wheel drive system and a Haldex 5 clutch, the Scout offers excellent off-road capabilities, and it can safely tow up to 2 tons. Mercedes is presenting its new S63 AMG, a coupe that combines size with power. 430 kilowatts and 900 Newton-meters takes the S63 on a sprint to 100 in just 4.3 seconds. And with an AMG Sport suspension and the Magic Body Control System and curve tilt function, this latest S-Class knows how to hug the road. A VW Beetle makes its way through sandy dunes on the North Frisian island of Sylt. But this is no ordinary bug. Called the Dune, it's a reincarnation of the legendary beach buggies of the 1960s. So how does the Dune differ from other VW Beetles? Take a closer look and you'll see that its body is raised by 50 millimeters, so the car can go off-road. VW has decided to put the Dune into series production in 2016. For now, it's just a show car, so small changes will likely be made to its design. The Dune is also 4.8 centimeters wider than the standard Beetle. The chrome on the rims and side skirts glistens in the sun. The car's rear end is dominated by two eye-catching spoilers. They don't just look sporty, they're also practical, allowing a pair of skis to be affixed to this show car. Unfortunately, that won't be the case when the model goes into series production. The Dune's flashy paint job has caught the attention of Lasse Barenschei. He takes the time to give us his impressions of the beach buggy. He says the workmanship on the outside is very good, and the chrome looks classy. Lasse especially likes the Dune's curves. Under the hood, a tried and true turbocharged direct injection engine delivers 155 kilowatts of sporty performance. The market-ready Dune will feature front-wheel drive, as the Beetle doesn't yet use the VW Group's modular toolkit system. It's not so easy to produce an all-wheel drive version. So for now, VW has no plans to introduce one. Lasse says that in spite of its raised suspension, the Dune drives really well. It grips the road even in windy areas, and its seats provide nice support so you don't slide back and forth, even when taking curves quickly. He says the controls and instruments are well laid out and easily reachable. The center console is very nice, the gear selector pleasant, and the passenger compartment well finished. He likes it a lot. The contrasting color scheme is also carried through on the inside. The retro grab handle in front of the passenger seat gives the Dune that old-style Beetle look. The handle won't feature in standard bugs due to safety issues with the passenger side airbag. The Dune's ultra-modern central display stands in stark contrast to the retro feel. The oil gauge, clock, and boost gauge are also presented as a matching trio. The center console looks clear and uncluttered. Drivers shift gears using the 6-speed dual-clutch gearbox. But there is one thing about the bug that bugs Lasse, and it has to do with Beetle's iconic shape. He says when reversing, visibility's not that great, but that's the only real minus he's noticed. VW hopes the car will revive the Dune buggy lifestyle. So what does Lasse think of it? He feels the Dune is a lifestyle car that's nice for the summer. Too bad it's not a convertible, he says, but for a closed-top car, it's great. A real summer car. VW does plan to offer an open-top version of the Dune, but beach buggy fans will have to be patient. Both the convertible and standard versions won't be ready to hit the sand dunes until 2016 at the earliest. The annual Silveretta Classic Rally in Austria's Montafon Valley. For 17 years now, it's been a rolling open-air museum of automotive history. And for the 5th time, electric cars were also part of the field. The plug-ins went to the start on a separate and somewhat shorter rally course. It's all there, from electric city cars like the Smart, all the way to the family cars like the Mercedes B-Class Electric, which made a big showing at the event. The course takes the drivers past picturesque alpine huts and mountain streams. Each day's stage is a bit over 100 kilometers long. That's not much compared to what the gas-powered cars are doing. But for e-cars, it's plenty far enough. They're on one of the special stages, the efficiency challenge. The cars recharge during the midday break, with organizers keeping a sharp eye on things. The less electricity the car needs, the better, especially from an environmental point of view. The steep climbs along the alpine course make less difference than one might think. Jochen Egg from Daimler explains, over the past few years, they've been investigating what impact the hills have on power consumption. It turns out that as long as the energy recovery system is in good order, the extra consumption on the uphill stretches is compensated for by the downhills. So it all works out pretty even in the end. We're behind the wheel of an electric B-Class. It's not a particularly sporty car, one might think, but the compact goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in about 8 seconds. The powertrain is by Daimler's partner, Tesla. So how does the limited range work out in a family car like this? Jochen Eck says it's a good combo. City and commuter cars don't always have to be two-seaters. At the next higher category, you need 4 seats. And the B-Class Daimler is a core model in both its European and its American market. In the U.S., it's actually considered a relatively small car. In the U.S., the B-Class is only sold as an e-car. There's no gasoline-powered version. Many families have it as their second or third car. So the e-car concept works well with a vehicle of this size.
Insofern passt das elektrische Konzept in dem Auto sehr gut zur Fahrzeuggröße.
The last time check before the start of the second stage, this part of the course follows the Silveretta High Alpine Road, 22 kilometers, a total of 34 bends, and an altitude of up to 2,000 meters, and then back again. The cars are nearly silent as they make the climb. Spectators have gathered at many of the hairpin bends. There are 23 cars at the start, and the news is good. They all master the ascent. But it's not winning, it's taking part that counts. Especially when it comes to e-cars, the participants have a different measure for success. Jürgen Schenk from Daimler says they used more power on the uphills but regained it on the downhills. They could even manage another 30 kilometers without a hitch.
Wir würden wahrscheinlich noch mal zur Bieler Höhe hochkommen.
At the end of the stage, the drivers field questions from the spectators. This fan says e-cars are a good idea, but the cost has to come down. He agrees. Plus, he needs a range that's more than just 70 or 80 kilometers. He says he'd probably go with a hybrid rather than a pure plug-in. E-cars may be more economical, but you need the combination of electricity and gasoline engine to get enough power to really have fun. So it sounds like e-cars still have some work to do before they catch on with ordinary drivers. The idyllic calm of the island of Rügen, off Germany's Baltic Sea coast. Today rudely interrupted by the classic sound of a classic East German automobile. During the communist era, the roads here were dominated by the rattling of two-stroke engines. Wartburgs, Melkuzes, Simpsons, MZs, or that most iconic East German car, the Trabant. Our classic car expert Gustav Bauer feels a bit sorry for the good old Trabi. It spent decades pottering along the roads of East Germany, choking pedestrians with its exhaust, but getting an entire country on the move. And in return, it was ridiculed. Some automotive milestone. When the first Trabant was launched in 1957 under the name P50, it could hold its own against West German models. Its 13 kilowatts may not have been a threat to the Goggomobil or the VW Beetle, but the latter certainly didn't leave its eastern cousins in the dust, at least not until later. The model Christoph's driving is the P601. Built in 1990, it was one of the last Trabis ever made. The engine hadn't changed since 1969, a two-stroke unit with 600 cc's and just 26 horsepower. Not exactly state-of-the-art as the 1990s dawned. The communist revolution was deemed more important than any automotive evolution. Cars essentially remained all about function rather than form. The Trabi's design barely moved on after 1964, and its engine setup soon became outdated. In the West, two-stroke engines were primarily associated with motorbikes and lawnmowers. But the Trabi was ideal for East Germans vacationing in neighboring communist countries. The antiquated leaf springs coped with bumpy pavement, and a top speed of 110 kilometers per hour was enough on many Eastern European roads. It didn't get you there fast, but it got you there. Christoph says the Trabi's body earned it a variety of derogatory names involving cardboard or plastic. The material in question was duroplast, a hard composite substance born of necessity. There was a shortage of sheet metal in East Germany. The West stopped supplying steel in the wake of the Cold War trade embargo, and Christoph says the material provided by the Soviet Union wasn't exactly top quality. Despite the duroplast, the Trabi was still prone to rust due to the metal shell underneath the composite skin. S stands for Sachsenring, the state-owned company that built the Trabant. VEB Sachsenring was based in the city of Zwickau in Saxony. The Trabi's tail fins were inspired by the American cruisers of the 1950s. In 1964, the body's double trapezoidal design was highly modern. It remained unchanged through 1990. The interior was on the Spartan side, a steering wheel, 2 dials, and 4 seats, garnished with a smattering of knobs and a few square feet of felt fabric. Under the hood was the 2-cylinder 2-stroke engine with a 0.6-liter displacement and that familiar putt-putt sound. Christoph is checking out the Trabant S model. S for sporty? No. It too has the standard 2-stroke engine with 26 horsepower. The S stands for Sonderwunsch, or special option. The optional extra in this case is a little compartment under the dashboard. There's no fuel tank display, however. That was only available in the deluxe version. The standard model came with a dipstick. It looks like the tank still got a bit of juice in it.
In dem Fall reicht's noch für ein paar Kilometer.
After a promising start, the Trabant P601 had the potential to keep pace with the Western European competition. But it enjoyed precious little technical evolution in the course of its 24-year production run. The communist leadership believed such modernization was superfluous. Christoph says the communist planned economy didn't plan very far. Functionaries gave the Trabi an expected lifetime of just 7 years, particularly frustrating when there was a 12-year waiting list to get one. In fact, Trabis lasted an average of 28 years on East German roads. The car's big advantage was its simple engineering, which meant people could fix things themselves. Except, the waiting list for spare parts was also extremely long. Many drivers would give their proud possession a real waxing and pampering even before taking it out on its maiden run. At the back of their minds was the thought of the dreaded waiting list to get a replacement. But Christoph feels the Trabi was something of a technical pioneer and may not have been the first series production car with a composite body. That honor went to the Corvette. But with 3.2 million units built, it enjoyed the highest production. So it deserves to be called a milestone in automotive history. So if you can cope with the 2-stroke technology and also have a soft spot for old-school purism, you could do worse than try out a Trabi. After all, what other modern classics can you get in decent condition these days for under 3,000 euros?